am back. Rodrance for Black and White Network. We are going to talk about Chicago. Now, my partner in crime, John Matrix, did a video about the chaos. Brandon Johnson, of course, that happened. I'll show a little bit of the video. There was an issue on the South Loop where a bunch of hoodlums, and yeah, I said it, a mob of teens, yeah, I said it, Brandon Johnson. And look, guys, it's not off. Well, I shouldn't say it's not often. It's almost daily. But look, it's not often I get next level angry about something that's said currently, because I get angry every day, but at the same time, there's almost a numbing effect that happens by the continuous stupidity that leaks out of Democratic politicians' mouths. And my God, Chicago, congratulate, you have elected in possibly, and this is in itself is going to be the most incompetent SOB in the history of politics on a city level. Look, that's saying a lot. New York's had Bill de Blasio, has Eric Adams, Jenny Durkin was in Seattle, Ted Wheeler. We're talking about a plethora of worthless as tits on a boar hog mother effers. The chick that actually preceded Brandon Johnson in Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, ran the woke Brittany Griner trifecta of being black, woman, and lesbian. Oh, Lord, we hit the jackpot. Well, you got her out and you voted in a radical socialist communist SOB into your city. It baffles me. And we've got fallout around the teens that stormed the convenience store. And Brandon Johnson has come out with some lengthy comments about what happened. And it's unimaginable that this guy could be this unaware, no self-awareness, the lack of caring he's got about the citizens, the good tax-paying citizens in Chicago. These Democrats don't give a F about you. And look, every time I do one of these Chicago videos, I get a lot of comments, and I understand what you're saying here. Well, they got what they voted for. Yeah, but a lot of people don't identify with this political ideology living up there, and they're having to deal with this. A lot of people didn't vote for this crap, okay? Think about how big Chicago is and how many people live up there that probably voted for Trump. We're talking law-abiding citizens, and this is the crap. This was a 7-Eleven. Look at this. A mob, I said it, Brandon Johnson, a mob of straight-up thugs. Hoodlums. And look, that lefties will do the whole, oh, that's coded racism. Stop it. I don't care what color you are. If you act like this, you need to be locked up, and they need to throw away the key. Don't even throw away the key. Drive out to one of the area lakes and just throw the key over in the lake. Melt the key down. Put them away. Look at this. South Loop security guard dies after confrontation with teens cost him his life. A security guard died Saturday, blocks away, the day before a teen takeover on the South Loop. All right? CBS 2 spoke exclusively to his wife, who wants to know what happened. Jackie Fisher loved being a security guard. His wife loved that about him. Saturday was their 22nd wedding anniversary. She begged him to take the day off work. He didn't. This guy was a hard worker. Would not even take the day off on his wedding anniversary. That is how much this guy's work ethic was off the charts. Quote, that day we went bowling on our anniversary. He said to me he had to go get his clothes and go to work. And the last thing I remember was him going out the door. He turned around and looked at me and said, and that was it. He loved his job. Whenever they called him, whatever the shift is, he just went. Recently, she said his work became more and more dangerous. Go to work, just leave teenagers alone. He said, I can't do that because I'm paid and not doing my job. It cost him his life. They're talking about the disruptive young adults at the location. Why am I tying this in? South Loop. Look at this. Those teens I showed you a minute ago on the South Loop. And guys, I'm a little bit all over the place on this because I'm pissed. I am pissed off about this mayor, what's going on in this city. We're in America, folks. We're in America. We're acting like this is some kind of third world country. One of the Chicago Cubs play in this city. The Bears, the legendary Bears. I mean, I'm baffled, and I never want to hear, well, you can't clean this up. Of course you can. Miami, clean their shit up. Rudy Giuliani cleaned New York up to the point that homicides were almost non-existent. But you've got to have a hard ass just like that come in and wreck shop and not worry about the language that you're using to refer to these teens. This guy right here, in my opinion, man, he is putting a lot of citizens at risk. If he is concerned about language around a bunch of wild-ass thugs destroying the town, seriously. This is the Chicago Sun-Times. Mayor Brandon Johnson on Wednesday applauded the Chicago police officers for the, quote, restraint they showed in making just 40 arrests. I don't know how many was out there. I mean, if you given more police, they probably would have got more folks. After a teen takeover in the South Loop, and said his administration has, quote, intercepted many other potentially destructive gatherings. Johnson's team has made a concerted effort to coordinate with civic leaders, community-based organization, and street intervention teams to dissuade young people from wreaking havoc. Boy, that's working, isn't it? I mean, stop it. Are you trying to take a victory lap right now? Amongst this? You cannot be serious. Quote, we're seeing some of the fruit of that labor. What? The number of teens that we intercepted over the course of these first, how long has it been, y'all? 12 weeks has been tremendous, Johnson said. Those behind-the-scene measures were not enough to stop the chaotic scene that unfolded Sunday night in the 100 block of West Roosevelt Road. A large crowd summoned on social media stormed into a convenience store by breaking windows, stripped merchandise from shelves, left garbage strewn in the parking lot. The teens then began fighting each other and jumping on cars. Police asked them to disperse, but they refused. A mass arrest situation was called. 40 arrests were made. As out of control as it seemed, it could have been worse if the rank-and-file police hadn't exercised restraints. Are you kidding me? God bless America. Stop it right now with this woke nonsense that for several years has been putting people in danger across this country, and now it's gotten worse in Chicago. Who could have thought it? Yeah, guys, you're going to get even more baffled as I go. Quote, to the best of their ability, I believe they have attempted to engage with our young people with community partners, giving as much warning as they possibly could. Unfortunately, the arrests were made, and unfortunately, some damage was caused. But the level of sensitivity and patience that our officers expressed, I'm appreciative of that. That is constitutional. That is the system of care. God. I mean, my wife is over here listening to me right now because she feels the anger oozing out of my pores right now over this SOB showing so much care for the hoodlums that tore that mother effing place apart. Okay. I mean, son of a bitch. The officers displayed a great deal of restraint. It is not up to law enforcement alone. We need everybody to provide systems of care that our young people have positive outlets and they're not in a position where it could lead to disruptive or destructive behavior. There's nothing wrong with positive outlets, but whatever you've got going on isn't working. And your citizens are at risk because of it. After the April 15th downtown rampage and crime wave by a mob of young people that went viral on social media, Johnson was criticized for condemning the behavior, but saying it was not constructive to demonize youth who otherwise would have been starved of opportunities in their community. On Wednesday, the mayor risked yet another political backlash. It happened when he scolded reporters. Listen to this. It happened when he scolded reporters who questioned his use of the word trend and instead referred to the Sunday night's disturbance as mob action. He's pissed because they said mob action? You're worried about the wording here. What would you call it exactly? We're not talking about mob actions. Well, by all means, Mayor, explain to me how would you describe it? I mean, just wondering. It's important that we speak of these dynamics in an appropriate way. But we have been very careful when we use language to describe certain behavior. There's a history in this city. I mean, to refer to children like baby Al Capones is not appropriate. Number one, let's not get confused here. We're not talking about 8-year-olds. Okay? We're not. All right? We're also not talking about kids that are starving to death. We're not. All right? They're out there to run amok and act crazy. And you know what, Brandon Johnson? I'm going to keep it real. Frankly, simply put, no, we don't want to refer to the children as little Al Capones because you know what? Al Capone had more of a moral code than a lot of these thugs that were in the street. Look, it is very well known that the mob operated with a certain moral and value set, a street code. They did. You know what? Al Capone wouldn't have put up with this shit on the street. A lot of these mobsters, and guys, I consume a lot of mob stuff. Okay? A lot of it. No way. No way would that kind of crap happen. It just wouldn't. Mobsters would not allow the guys that worked under them to go into a store and destroy it 40 people deep. And of course, the city of Chicago arrests 40 teens. They let damn near every one of the sons of bitches out almost immediately. Of course you did. And Brandon Johnson, and this is the problem right here, with somebody that is concerned about woke policies, he's worried about the wording used around these teens. Are you kidding me? It's baffling and dangerous because it means that Brandon Johnson's priorities are in all kinds of the wrong places. Those good tax-paying citizens are not concerned with whether or not these teens are called mob-like or conducting mob action. Honestly, like I said, it's sort of an insult to the mob. I mean, these were hoodlums out there and thugs looking to cause utter random destruction. That's it. That's all. A former Chicago public teacher, Johnson, said, there are always going to be students who want to find places to cut up. Like we're talking about 3 or 4 teens hanging out down by the river, having some laughs while they're catching some catfish. You idiot. This is not what was happening. These teens weren't just coming together to hang out. They came there to cause destruction and chaos. I'm baffled. Man, this is so awful. It really is. It's his job to, quote, build systems to prevent that from happening. If you're between the ages of 16 and 21, there aren't a lot of places where you can go and hang out. There just isn't. You're too old for Chuck E. Cheese, and then you can't go to the club, the mayor said. God. How about you do something to improve the parenting dynamics in your town? Maybe that is a thing. You know, because here, parents just don't let their kids run amok like that either. Let's be real. They don't. There's a lot of things that have failed in place here. But worrying about the terminology used around these kids, that's where your priorities are? It's crazy. This mayor is a joke on an epic level. And I know John covered the actual initial incident, but when the story breaks off that, and I listened to the video, at no point did he talk about that it had not been revealed his full remarks around this situation. Mob mentality. You're worried that the kids were labeled as having taken mob action. Who cares? Who cares what you want to call it? It was utter and complete destruction and chaos. Look, this mayor is going to continue to condone and coddle this activity, obviously. And he's not going to, look, you should triple fund the police at this point. Give them every available resource, hire as many officers as you can, and start sweeping that city out. You know what we do when there's trash on the floor? We sweep that shit up into a dustpan and we throw that shit in the trash. Sweep up the streets. Clean it up. Wow. That's not going to happen here, folks. It's not going to happen. These politicians are they're going to continue to condone and coddle this kind of activity and these people and rock them like they're a baby while they're burning down the 7-Eleven on the corner. Okay. Wow. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.